I'm optimistic that it gets done. But I know Calvin Watkins and I were excited about having some sort of a podcast this season, but I couldn't tell you any specifics just yet because I don't know them. But if you got a good idea for a Cowboys podcast name, let me know because I've been racking my brain and I'm still trying.
All right, y'all
we'll
heard the
work with it
challenge.
over here. Then
Y'all heard the challenge. Y'all
Yeah.
think of
There you
some
go.
names. They really trying to put
Workshop it
this
for
thing
me.
together. So
Yeah.
y'all throw some names out there, and then we'll relay it back to Michael. But thank you, Michael, for coming to the final word.
No doubt, and
You
I'll
bet.
be out there
Appreciate
at
you guys
Sir,
having me.
Oxnard,
appreciate
man. I'll be out there, so I'll bump into you out there, way.
Definitely let me know when you're in.
All right, we'll do.
All right, Michael.
Appreciate you.
See
All
you
right,
guys.
that was Michael Gelkin with the Dallas Morning News. He obviously came and did what I knew he was going to do. He was going to give us that fire. Come on now, where the Yoga Flames at?
Yoga,
Where the Yoga Flames at?
fire, Yoga, flame.
Ah man, that was cool. All right, yeah. So, what's y'all thoughts in general, man? And then we got some more content we can talk about real quick. I got some good stuff laid up for y'all.
Oh man, it was great. Over here, I thought that he answered everything correctly, and he was pretty good. We was vibing with him.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Big?
Oh, I mean, like I said, I've always liked how he brought it. He's always got good information. I like how like I said, he gives his opinion. I really appreciate how he jumped out there and did the Dalton Schultz video. I really appreciate that because a lot of guys that are in that write or kind of in the media in his place, they don't do that. They don't do film study. They don't drop film. They just give their opinion and they write it, and then that's that. He actually gives his opinion, and if you look at his Twitter, he's always showing video to back up what he is saying. And I think
exactly.
I think that's the thing I really respect about him is that he just doesn't talk about it. He puts in work video wise to really validate what he's trying to say to you, and I really respect that about him.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too. That's the thing that I got from it was the fact that he was willing to step out on a limb. Because I was talking to Coach Marv, and he say, boss, he say, you and the final word guys, because y'all don't follow the crowd, it makes y'all appear that y'all on a limb. But sometimes the truth is on the limb. It's not what the crowd is saying. And that's the thing that I respected the most out of, obviously the interview with Michael Gelkin, is that he was willing to show him blocking and not just make a tweet about it. He was like, I'm going to go do the work to make my case. And I respect that. What's your thoughts, Law?
Yeah, and you can tell that he's authentic with it when he said 4 hours of film. It do. So when people look at what we do as far as a film assessment and putting the bubbles and the blocks over it, it takes time. And you actually evaluating what they're doing with hand placement, what they're doing with down and out distance. It's a lot that goes into it. But from the outside looking in, a lot of people will just say, man, anybody can do that. But no, it's a lot of time. And when you're trading information for time, it's not easy. And especially putting his, I ain't going to say nuts out there, but putting it all out on a limb, Like you said, in the dark to bring everybody to the light, that's difficult.
Right, it is. Oh, Coach Marv, I just saw your super chat. Let me throw this super chat in here real quick. Yeah, he just said, make sure y'all read this super chat. Let me go to it. All right, give me a second. Yeah. Because, matter of fact, because he was talking about tight ends. So we go keep this narrative on tight end real quick before I go to your super chat. Let's go to Big Game James, because you said something on your Twitter, Big. I want to show this real quick. This go keep us on the theme of tight end, bro. So you say, I would say this about the Cowboys, about drafting the traditional Jason Witten-ish tight end. They wanted Jelani Woods, and I believe we're going to take him in the 3rd round had the Colts not got him. So at least they thought outside the box at the position and took the best possible one. So I'm going to merge that with Coach Mar's super chat because I think they go together. He said, looking at our drafted tight end, who you talking about, Do he see a big difference? Oh, so that was to Gelkin. So we gonna have to answer this. Do he see a big difference in the new tight end and Schultz? So we go tag team this together. I'm sorry, I saw it late, Coach Marv, but go ahead, Big.
Yeah, I mean, I had just been thinking about it because you know how we've been talking about the tight end position and how they always seem to get the same type tight end. It's always the Whitnish type guy, the 6'5", the 250, 260, not the super fast guy, but can just do the wiggle and get open. It looked like that was the basis of what they did. When I looked at Blake Jarwin, I said, maybe they're skewing away from it because Blake Jarwin was a different type of tight end, in my opinion. He could stretch the field. He could hit that seam, and we saw he could get loose in that open field. So they were really trying to open that door with Blake Jarwin, but unfortunately he got hurt. And then when we look at the draft, how they had it, they were really high on Woods. They brought him in for a visit, and the 30 visit, they had went out to a pro day, had him at a pro day. And I believe, like I said, if the Colts did not take him, I believe they really were targeting him and trying to get him in that third round. So I can say that they weren't always thinking that way, and they were trying to move away and probably help out and saw that, guess what, we need some speed at the position. We already have a tight end, an Dalton Schultz, who is a guy who is a more possession type tight end who can hit us underneath and get the small routes, as Boss says, can get the 5 and done. We need another guy who we just lost in Blake Jarwin who's explosive. So let's go after Woods and get that explosive, fast guy and merge him with this blocking, not a blocker, but a guy that can really use his hands and get you underneath. And that would be a perfect balance. So I can definitely say they were thinking out the box and not trying to add it. And just on the Jake Ferguson thing, yes, I think he is kind of like the Dalton Schultz. But what we will say is this, that they had an opportunity when they lost out on Woods to still get the best tight end available. And I think that's what Jake Ferguson was. So instead of them losing out altogether, they got somebody who can at least they can possibly replace a Dalton Schultz if they can't sign him later on and still come back in the draft next year and get the speed tight end.
Well, when you look at everything you just said, Big Game James and also Boss Cowboy, the philosophy of the type and kind of caliber of tight ends that we have on this team goes all the way back to the philosophy of this offense collectively, meaning that this offense haven't changed since 2007. If you really contextualize everything, Kellen Moore is the offspring or the love child, dare I say, of Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett. So when you look at everything, there's really nothing different that what Kellen Moore do than those guys. Now, he does a little bit more motions. Of course, he pull other plays. He's a collector of plays. But the core of everything is still the same philosophy. So that's why you see this team going after the same type of tight ends. And I think that Jake Ferguson, he will be a guy that will relish in this system. I wanted to ask Gelkin before he left too, is Sean McEwing. Is he the guy to be called the number 2 tight end now? Right? Because
to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it like this, Law. We need to be asking you because you getting ready. Yeah, I'm dead serious too, bro. Yeah. See, because you gonna be out there at Oxnard. You know what I mean?
I will.
So I'm gonna be coming to you, big dog. Like I can ask Gelkin, I got his number now, and I can say, "Hey, Gelkin, what you think?" No, I'm asking Law Nation. Yeah, when you come out there, that's exactly what we gonna be looking for. And Coach Marv, he was being messy. He said, "If there's no difference, that's why it's no contract for Schultz." Well, listen.
Oh my gosh, man.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be all the way honest.
Okay.
I have not broken down the blocking of Schultz versus Ferguson. I haven't. So if I spoke on it, I would be winging it. And I ain't gonna do y'all like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like that,
now, I think Big Game James actually did more research on the blocking between the two than me. So to be honest, I think he could probably shine more light on those differences. But I just not have broken that down yet fully. Now, I looked at Ferguson and I was impressed with Ferguson. Not saying that he's perfect,
right?
Because he's not. He missing blocks. But I like the foundation of what I saw. So but I'm not willing to step on a limb yet and say they just as good. Not quite yet. I want to really do my homework on that. What's your thoughts, Big?
Yeah, I mean, I did look at the two tight ends. I did tape on both of them. I will tend to agree with Michael Gelkin's assessment that, see, I'm going to be honest. I think it was Marcus Marshall out there that was pumping, and I ain't trying to hate on you, Marshall. If you listen to this, please don't jump out there and say I am. But he was talking, if you look at a lot of Twitter, he was pushing that Blake Jarwin is a good blocker. It's true. He was saying it. Then all of a sudden you listen to, because people don't study.
Right.
They hear one person say something, and all of a sudden they just latch onto
what
it.
It is.
Everybody, I mean, first people were being real critical of Blake Jarwin and his blocking, right? All of a sudden that came in the air that he's a better blocker, and then people start saying Jarwin can block and Schultz can't block. That's what started happening in the air. Then people just started running with it and just saying, oh, Schultz can't block because 17 people said it. Now I'm just going to agree with it because that's what the whole crowd is saying.
Say it,
so
bro.
I believe that's why Kelkin came back and said everything is in black and white and don't listen to what everybody is saying. Let me show you some tape and say, guess what? He's not as bad as a blocker as y'all keep talking about. Does he need work? Yes, he does. But if you're looking at the difference between these two players, it was the truth. Blake Jarwin was not the good blocker, and Dalton Schultz was better. And if we look at the beginning part of the season when they went against the Chargers and things of that nature, Dalton Schultz was blocking very well in that game, especially in that Chargers game. Both of the running backs was getting loose, and Dalton Schultz was really and remember, we was excited about the 12 personnel. Remember, and just another thing, falling off of that, boss. I'm not making no excuses for Kellen Moore, okay? But let's not forget that he was running that heavy 12 personnel when Blake Jarwin was not hurt, and that 12 personnel was killing teams. That 12 personnel was running great with the Cowboys. That offense was humming with the two tight ends. It started falling apart when Blake Jarwin got hurt. So like I said, I'm not making no excuses, but when Blake Jarwin got hurt, that offense changed. And then when Michael Gallup came back, it changed up a little bit, but it was working very well with that 12 personnel. So I'm just saying, let's not all crucify Kellen Moore because not everybody was saying he's just garbage before. Until a few people said something, then everybody latches on to it. So I'm just saying, let's keep the context. So let's look at the tape before everybody jumps on and listens to one person.
Sins of the father falls down to the son. It goes all the way down to this right here. Jason Garrett. When everything is put into place, he can coach the hell out of a game. But if he's missing something, he's missing his quarterback, or if he's missing one of the offensive linemen, he just can't really dial up the adjustments. Now, when you start talking about Kellen Moore in that light, you see some similarities. Like when Blake Jarwin went down, just like what Big Game James said, we started to figure out, hey, this dude is struggling picking up the pieces. Now, granted, I was reading some comments there earlier when I said the young phenom. I really, truly believe that Kellen Moore is brilliant and bright. But it's difference between knowing something and being experienced with something. And it goes a long way, and I don't want to use this analogy, but there are some things that you have to learn on your own, and that is the philosophy that Mike McCarthy is giving to Kellen Moore. Because you already was given this titleship, you're going to have to figure this out on your own. And fellas, you know what I'm talking about. When you with your lady, there are some things that you can't reach out to your father and say, hey, Dad, can you teach me how to do this? No, you got to learn on your own. And that's what Kellen Moore did.
Law. Say, man, y'all got law.
I'm trying to keep it PG-13,
man,
baby.
You doing good. You doing good, bro. You doing good. I felt you, though.
Yeah. So I know you didn't reach out to your dad. Did you reach out to your dad?
Nah, I learned them all.
What about you, Big Game Jay?
Right, but don't you? Yeah, okay, but I listen. But when
if your dad teaches you that,
go ahead. But I listen to Gilkin, and I think that's where McCarthy. I think this is where the season where McCarthy has to step up in that aspect on both that front, and so does Kellen Moore. But if we're saying Kellen Moore, steps his game up in that aspect of if a defense shuts you down in one aspect, he comes with different wrinkles. Then we're not really mad at Kellen Moore, because if you look at the 3 years that Kellen Moore has been the OC,
right,
2 out of the 3 years it's led the NFL in offense in yards. It's been a top offense, and it was leading the top in 2020 until Dak Prescott hurt. So it could have even been 3 straight years with this offensive coordinator has led the league in yards produced, and it wasn't like they were bottom 15 or bottom 17, 18, 19, or 20. This was an offense, and you got to have this. That's where Mike McCarthy has to step up. Real for me in this year, this is where Mike McCarthy really has to put his foot down, and really, if he's really trying to save his job, and if he's really trying to take this, then if he sees Kellen Moore struggling, he needs to step in there and be the hands-on coach that he was talking about with the John Grudens of the world. He needs to be better in that aspect, and not just watch it from afar and let it train wreck and just go, oh, well, he's messing up. No, you got to step in there and say, I can't let this fall, and I got to be a better coach.
But Big Game James, to that point and to that degree, you got to look at it like this too. Yes, he respectfully was the number 1 ranked offense when everything is going well, right? But when you look at that same ratings, he was ranked 23rd and 24th in red zone efficiency, and he can't.
That fluctuated though, Law. That fluctuated because at the beginning of the year, we were talking about he had those problems. But if you looked at the course of the first 10 games of the season, they were over 50%. They were like close to 60, and those numbers were going good. Once again, when they had the injuries, and I totally agree with you how he didn't make the adjustments when he had the injuries. But we can't sit there and say that he did have. They were scoring in the red zone in the very beginning of the season, like the first 8 games.
Well, let me ask you this though. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna switch it up on you a little bit, Big Gabe James. And I know you are very diverse in your acumen of sports in general. You witnessed MJ when he was drafted, right? What year was he drafted?
84.
84. Did he win it in 84? Did he win it in 85?
No, he didn't.
Did he win it in 86? Did he win it in 87? Did he win it in 88?
He won in 88.
Did he win it in 89? It took experience.
When did they start winning? Yeah, it took a while.
It took time. The Bulls was being built in the 80s. They dominated in the earlier parts of the 90s. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying that Kellen Moore is at the levels of MJ, but we can see some brilliancy in there. But you can't skip the growing pains, baby, and that is the problem. We want it now.
Facts. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, boy. I was queued up to fight you, Law. Look.
I know, man.
I had the buttons ready, bro. I was finna start punching you right in your grill until you said that last point. We are not waiting on Kellen Moore, bro.
we waited. Let them wait.
No, we ain't waiting. No, but listen, because you right.
Oh, I'm not saying wait though, boss. I'm not.
No,
saying
I know you're
wait.
not saying wait. You giving him credit. You giving him credit for what he's doing and where he's already good.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, yes, you have to make it happen now because the exposure has happened. So there can't be another thing of like that happening when that has been exposed about you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying from this point, he hasn't been trash like everybody's like, oh, he's just trash.
Right.
I'm sorry. Other people can feel that. I'm not going to agree that he's a trash offensive coordinator. Does he has the Jason Garrett? That's where he came from.
Right.
I mean, the Sky Lennon, that's where he came from. That's the only thing he knows. So, I mean, I don't make no excuse for that. You have to get better because you've been exposed. But I'm saying from coming in as the offensive coordinator, he hasn't been garbage. If he gets better at that aspect of being able to make those adjustments, can we say, will we be happier with that? And we feel like he's going over the hump because that was his major hurdle, right?
Yeah. I think I got the balance, Big. I think I got it, bro. Because if anybody calling Kellen Moore trash,
right,
you tripping. You are tripping, right? Because he's not trash. But I think the thing with Kellen Moore is he need an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And I think his adjustment is actually a simple adjustment. I think he need to know when to scheme for your playmakers and when to go to that system philosophy. I think he got one gear, which is that system philosophy, which works because it's that same philosophy. That's number one. It's just anemic in big games. When them games get hard and tough, you need to lean on those guys you paid for. It's a simple adjustment with him. And then that genius and that wisdom, to me, will match that production to put us over the hump. What you think of that, Big?
The players got to do it too. Just like I'm not bouncing off Michael Gilpin, but the players. We talking about Kellen Moore can make this. I'm doing this play, but the players got to execute. The line got to block. If I call this play, you got to be able to hold off this daggone defensive end for more than 1 second. You get what I'm saying? And give Dak Prescott some time. So it goes all hand in hand. You got to get better at that aspect. You got to have that balance. But guess what? The Dak Prescotts, the CeeDee Lambs, the Tyron Smiths, the Tyler Biadishes, y'all have to play at a high level all the time. Because if you're not doing that, and I said that, Boss and Law, that this team, since it doesn't go out and get free agents, right? And it relies on rookies, our players, the Dak Prescotts and those guys of the world, have to play like the 5-star players because we don't have anybody else on the outside that they're trying to bring in. So those guys have to bring it every single time or Dallas will fail.
Well, that was going to be my other question, too, that I was going to bring up to Gelkin, and I could bring it up to you two.
Okay.
You got sources and you got resources. Resources pull from the source. And the Cowboys right now got nothing to pull from, especially as it relates to the wide receivers. Don't you guys know that the veteran wide receiver with the most experience, his name is Noah Brown. He got the most experience on this team. So CeeDee Lamb, he's facing the unknown. He's going up against number one DBs now, his first time in his career. I'm talking about on a consistent level, right? You got, of course, James Washington. We wish and we hope and we want him to succeed, but his highest catch total ever in the season was 44 catches. And you got Jaylen Tobert. Of course, he looked good at South Alabama, but we have yet to see him in a Cowboys uniform do it on a consistent level, and he was a third-round draft pick, Simi Fehoko. He's still trying to fight for a spot on his roster. So we are entering in, and I'm not saying that this team can't do it. I'm not going to put down the Kool-Aid, Big Game James and Boss, but these are the realities of it. This Cowboys team will not have the source that they can pull from. They can't lean on Kellen Moore because what he's going to pull from. The old manual that Jason Garrett and his daddy Scott Lanahan left, he got nothing to pull off from. So he got to create his own sources that he can pull from as far as information and experience. And this is what we're going through because as we look at it, Big Mike McCarthy, he's got his arm folded with the menu in his hand, and he said, I can't intervene right now. I can't. I got to let this kid figure out his own way. So we are in that pickle of waiting for this thing to manifest itself into something. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I hope I don't sound negative, but that's just what it is.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If you sound negative, nobody should care because you giving your honest analysis. You know what I mean? And a lot of our fans need to get over stuff sounding negative. Right. Like, listen, if they don't know by now that we just trying to give our best commentary to make this team win, then there ain't nothing we can do. I'm sorry. It just ain't nothing we can do. If you don't know the spirit of Big Game James, Law Nation, the OC, Boss Cowboy by now, you'll never know us. You know, so now, if you sound negative, so what? Hey, real quick, I want to make a pivot, a positive pivot. Y'all gonna like this one. Well, I like it. Check this out. Podcast. So obviously, Vach, put this out, from Big Duke training with Tyler Smith, and you were talking about
get him
that everybody need to make an offering for Big Duke.
Yeah.
But that's because of the technique that he watching, right?
Yeah, keep them on.
So listen. Everybody listen to me. Not you, Law, but I'm talking about everybody else. Listen, this is the deal. I get why offensive linemen that really know the position are excited in that drill that they was showing. And this is what's gonna paint the picture. Y'all listen to the OC talk, and then we go back to that drill when he was talking about Tyler Smith. Y'all listen to this.
Going back and again, stepping down, positioning, cutting off his guy, hitting another guy. So yeah, just extremely physical at the point. I think that initially he probably does play guard. Initially, he may play guard. So, all right, so look at this here. If you look at him, I like his pad level in the run game. And he a good. I mean, there he gives us some inside leverage. It was no consequence because it was a dead play. But let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right, so left tackle. And the thing
now, this part is when the OC go show his sauce. Listen to
that
this.
you see is that when he gets his hands on people, he is a guy that's trying to finish you. He is knocking you, and that was a fumble, but he's trying to knock his guy on the ground. He's trying to punish you and basically just knock you all around the football field. And so that's the constant theme consistently that you'll see with him. Again, the reason for the holding penalties.
Now watch the OC. Listen. Then we go back to why the offensive line people were so excited at that clip. Listen.
Is really, and I'm going to say something a lot of people haven't pointed out. Now, his hands are inside there. Listen. He does a good job at still on the edge. I think some of this is his coach's fault, Boss Cowboy, because there's no way a guy that's big and that talented that you're not telling him to draw his elbows down, right? All he has to do, that was a great play. All he has to do is draw his elbow and knock the guy down on the ground. All he has to do, Boss Cowboy, is tuck his elbows down and inside.
So hold on. So then when you go back and you go look at this drill and look at Tyler and where his hands are, his elbows are, and you see why all the offensive linemen heads was drooling. Am I tripping? Or am I hearing and seeing this right, big dog? I want to turn this back over to y'all.
I was born in it.
Let me say this right quick, man. Let me say this, everybody. At the time, the OC was getting crucified and people were shanking him left and right when he was doing that assessment because a lot of people didn't like Tyler Smith at all, right?
Facts.
And
hold
he
on,
was
Lo,
getting
let me give you a
murdered.
flame.
You got fire.
And a button.
You got flame.
I'm sorry, bro. You're going too hard right now. I have to cut you off.
Nothing but the best.
Those grills rub it hard.
Let's go.
All right, go ahead, Lo.
This is your ally.
That joker was down in the dark. He was in the dark. He was in the triple dark going over his film. He was the first one giving the analysis and the reason why the Cowboys went and made that move. It was an unpopular opinion, or his analysis was unpopular. But now, lo and behold, this kid is working. And I want to say this to all of the Cowboys fans out there. Dog it, y'all complain left and right about these players working. I get told, I post, CD Lamb, ooh, he's sorry, Lord, what he's doing. Experts, receivers don't put out work clips. You terrible, Lord. And then I put out Dak Prescott. He's working. What, you want him to play rounds of golf, right? You got Terrence Steele. He's out there working. We got guys, even KJ, Kelvin Joseph, got training camps with the youth. He trying to get a good image out there. Our guys this season is putting in work. And I'm not even talking about Parsons at this time. Parsons putting in work. So I love this from our Cowboys players for the first time in a long time. These boys, all of them, are on the same page of working individually and improving and working on their craft, and a lot of people are crying about it. But go ahead, Big Game James. I had to put that out there.
I mean, you know, as far as the Tyler Smith thing, first of all, I mean, he looks in shape. That's the thing. The first thing I saw that impressed me was that, you know, he is in shape. He is athletic, but, you know, I really feel like, and I said this a little while back, that, you know, and I talked with Kyle Humans, and I was saying that I felt like a while back when we had this talk that he was going to eventually move to that left tackle because look at his feet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing left tackle, you got to be able to have good feet too. Okay. Yeah. And he's got the prerequisite arm length. His feet are good. You heard what OC said about the arms, but just like you said, Law, and even Boss, this kid works. And he's from Dallas, man. I keep saying that means something. Oh, when you are playing from your city, especially this right here, this means everything to him. And you don't think he hasn't heard the noise about, man, that was a bad pick. They should have did this. They should have did that. So he has the motivation going on to prove everybody wrong, to say, no, I am from this place. I'm about to show y'all this was a great pick, and I'm going to take this personal. So I love it now. I mean, I didn't hate on it before. I was just like, he's from Tulsa. Let's see. But once I seen him getting out there doing this work like this, I really believe it. He's not only been doing this work, fellas. He's been in the classroom. He's been at these little clinics where they have the offensive lineman clinics where they sit there and talk with other offensive linemen as well. You got to love that about a young man. And I think the arrow is pointing up really high for him, and I think he has a very high ceiling.
Oh my God!
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
And see, let me go back and see if the OC still has some more to say, because I might have cut him off a little bit too early. Because listen, this is one thing Law always said. He said, I ain't gonna lie to kick it. I ain't neither. And one thing I would be doing if I was lying to kick it is trying to act like I really fully understand the nuance of offensive line. Right. I don't. But I feel like I'm a pretty good listener, and I have good eyes. So one of the things, I went back and I looked at that drill and I looked at his tape, and the OC was right. He was getting his hands a lot outside.
Yeah.
See why? And that's why he was getting a lot of those. Let me just go back and listen real quick.
And I just think that whoever was coaching him, no offense, I hope I don't offend anybody, but they did a disservice and not really drilling him and putting him in the repetition situation during practice, right, to where he got that aspect of his game down, because that would eliminate the holding penalties. That would eliminate a lot of people getting in his chest, even on the passing game. That would eliminate a lot of the negatives that you see on this game. The second thing that I believe he got a tremendous disservice done to him in terms of how he was coached.
I ain't going to that because he talking about something else. The main thing I was talking about was how he was talking to, just keeping it real, bro, because he started talking about sets and all that, which that wasn't
lost us.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, we ain't gonna get into that right now, big dog. Yeah. But when he was talking about specifically drilling into Tyler Smith, keeping his hands low, elbows down and inside, and then we turn it on and we see Big Duke doing exactly what the OC was talking about. The only thing I can say is
yoga fire, yoga flame.
Woo, man, that's exciting, bro. Yeah. That's exciting. So that goes to everybody who might, in my opinion, be concerned about him playing left guard and concerned about our running game. The more and more I'm watching these guys in the offseason, I'm gonna be honest. I ain't saying I'm gulping and drunk on Kool-Aid, but I'm feeling better.
It's the unknown still, but we gonna get it.
Well, I want to ask you both a question right now. This is from my dog Mel Hayes. He asked me, and I want to ask you too. This is the question, and he says, "Do you think that will Tyler Smith, if he stays at the left guard position this year, will he be better than Connor Williams was this past season?"
Yes.
And why? Minus the holding.
Okay, yeah. The reason why is because he's already, to me, a natural run blocker, right? And I think the plan and the development plan is smart because they already knew that he was young and need work. So before they just throw him at tackle, I think they taking him through the Lyle Collins development plan, where we're going to get you acclimated to the NFL at left guard and let you do what you do best, run block, because he was graded the best all time in ACC in run blocking. You're not putting him on the island. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to fit him. You know what I mean? It's going to fit his skill set. And I think he's just naturally stronger than Connor Williams, which should make him more, and this is just in my opinion, a fish in water than what Connor Williams was. That's why I think he's going to be better than what Connor Williams was. That's my honest answer.
I just don't think Big
about
Game
you, Law?
James. I just don't think that he would get beat the way Connor Williams got beat with power, and I just think that will set the tone. And one thing that we have to do is set the tone. Trench warfare. So I just feel like, in my opinion at this point, that he would have a better outcome than Connor, and I think that would be a plus for us because Dak Prescott. If you give Dak Prescott the opportunity to read it, he will carve you up. And that's one thing that you can really put your money on with Dak. And I think that we will have a better situation. If this offensive line can stay healthy and we keep the front five, my starting five will be Tyron, Tyler, Zach Martin, and then Terrence Steele. That's my starting five. And if we can keep that for 17 weeks or what have you, man, we going to the playoffs, no doubt, and we going deep.
I want to add one more thing.
We'll see.
Nah, come on, Big Game James. Come on, man. I got some cool.
Nah,
Look,
I ain't listening to that, dog. Don't start
put
that.
the camera on
Don't
me,
start
man.
that. You know I'm not going for
right
that.
Here?
I'm not going for that.
I'm gonna fill this bottle up with Kool-Aid.
Go ahead and fill it.
I'm gonna fill it up with Kool-Aid.
I'm
and
not
when I
drinking
see you,
none of
bro,
that. No.
when I see you, I'm gonna literally.
see it all
This
you
is
want.
Big Game James Kool-Aid bottle. I'm gonna fill it up with Kool-Aid, bro.
That's
and you
fine.
gonna sip it, man.
You will
when
not
get
hear
in
it.
the
It's
my
playoffs.
dog.
Make
Make
sure
you
you
will not hear it at all. You will not hear it at all this year. No, you won't. I promise you. You won't hear nothing this year until I see them get to the playoffs, and then I'll start looking. But I'm not looking at none of that jump off that went 5, 6, 7 games. I'm not believing none of that. I'm not drinking none of that Kool-Aid. None of it. Period.
All right, let's
to-
make a wager.
I wanted to add, though, one more
If we
thing.
go 4-1, 5-1, would you drink it then?
No.
What will give you to the cup? What
I've
will get
seen
you
this
to
before. I've seen this. Okay, first of all,
4-0,
Law, have we seen this in
5-0?
2016? Hold up. Law. 2016, how many games they win in a row?
8, 9, 2016. Hold on, I forgot, man.
Right.
6,
They
7,
won six in a row.
Yeah.
6 in a row.
2018, how many games did we win in a row when we got Amari Cooper?
7.
7, yeah.
What happened last year? How many games did we win in a row?
6. This dude.
Thank you.
Is
That's why I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
I ain't mad at it.
So 8 is your number. 8 is your number.
Nah.
8 in a
No,
row is
I
your
don't
with
number.
care
you.
if it's
The
10.
regular
I don't care if it's
season is
16.
not the standard
I don't
no
care
more.
about the
No.
regular season
No.
no more.
Right. The regular
Okay,
season
I
is
feel
not
you.
the standard
It's
no more.
playoffs.
I'm with you, big.
So
I'm with you.
after we win our first playoff game, you gonna open wide for this,
I
right?
don't care. We won one. No, we won one playoff game before. We need to advance.
After
We need
two,
at least
after
two
the second,
before I even
so
say
after the
it.
second
He
playoff
need two.
win, you gonna,
I think
you
that's
gonna
fair.
drink this, right?
That's
I
fair.
need two.
It's fair.
Nope,
After the
I need
second
two.
playoff win, you gonna at
Man.
least drink this, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to be going crazy either. But I'll be like, okay,
You gonna drink.
You gonna drink it?
That's a
okay,
fair
so,
play.
So bet. You know, so bet. After we win 2 playoff games, I'm gonna get a
playoffs.
T-shirt and everything. Big Game James sipping the Kool-Aid. Let's go.
Okay. Finish it. That's fine. And
I
it's
ain't
gonna be
putting no
sipping.
pressure on you.
It won't be big cups either. Even after the 2. I ain't falling for that no more, man.
Man, I
ain't
feel
falling
you.
for it no more.
Say, I feel you, man. I ain't putting no pressure on my dog to
I'm trying to
silk.
put it
You
on
ain't
there,
got to
man.
silk nothing. Because you right, man. We've been through this before, and it do got to come all together.
So
I feel you.
So,
Now,
so what Big
we
Game
gonna enjoy the
James is
season,
saying-
though. We gonna enjoy the
Yeah.
season, but
yeah. What Big
Go ahead,
Game
Law.
James is
Go ahead,
saying
Law.
is
Go ahead,
that
Law.
it's really his fault. The moment he start feeling good, we lose. So it's Big Game James' fault. You know, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Okay.
You the curse.
Okay.
Big
That's
Game
how it
James
is.
the curse.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll be the curse. But guess what? See, this is how. But you know what, Law? This is how I'll be the curse. I'm gonna be super extra negative, so maybe that'll just make us win.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm gonna be the negative Cowboy guy this year.
Do it.
We
So
gonna
every
see
time
if you gonna
they
hold
say
up to
something,
it.
say something,
We gonna see if
I'm
you
like,
gonna
man,
hold up
they
to it.
terrible. Say, yeah, okay, I am gonna.
I love it.
I guarantee you.
I
I
hope we beat the
I'm gonna
Buccaneers
be
51-0.
and let it
I hope
go
it's
the other way.
51-0.
Please,
Come on.
I love it.
Yes, it's got to go
Stay that way,
because
dog.
I ain't being positive no more. I'm gonna
Thank
be
you.
negative, and
Yeah.
maybe they be positive if I'm so negative. You got it. So when
got
you
it.
come to my page, you're hearing nothing but negative.
Okay,
You got it.
okay.
Negative. Hey, I love being a Cowboy. And you
Big game James.
Game changer.
Oh, man.
let's have some fun. Let's have a good
That's
time,
why he's
man.
my dog,
I
though.
wish you
That's
could
why
show
he's
them
my
that clip.
dog.
I wish you could show them clip
Which
of them
one?
girls twerking. And the dog just sitting there.
Because it was so true.
Where's that?
It
Where's
was so
that?
true.
Is it on your
Find
channel,
that, 'cause
Big?
that
I will
was so
pull it
true.
up. Is it on your channel or is it on
I think
mine?
I shared it. It might be on yours. I don't know. Share
Yeah,
that.
let me-
It
Oh
was
my
the
God.
truth.
Hold
Ain't
on, let me
nobody-
see if I
ain't
can
nobody
find
on
this,
that.
bro, because it is the
The
truth.
dog had the best look.
That's
Because
Big
it's
Game
facts.
James.
It's facts.
The spirit of
I'm
Big Game
scrolling
James.
hard. I'm trying to find it, Big. I'm gonna find it. Y'all
gosh,
stall
man.
for me. Y'all stall
that no
for me.
more, dog. I ain't falling for it no more, dog. Law, I ain't falling for it. You can say what you want. You be that guy. That is your job.
Yeah, gonna be
my
my
job
job.
is not going to be that.
And-
My job is going to say, when you say something, I'm be like, hell to the no.
I hope we beat
Man, I
them
don't see it.
51-0.
I
I'm gonna look at
You
the
know
Big
what?
Game James
Who
like
you
this.
Who you are talking about? Tampa Bay? You talking about Tampa Bay? Because I'm already saying we 0-2.
God, dog.
Yeah, I already
Man,
said we
somebody
starting out
find
0-2.
that link for me, man.
If you want to start the negativity already, I already said we starting out 0-2. I already said we're going to be 4-4 by the break. So if we want to be saying I'm being negative, yeah, I said it. I said we was going to be 4-4 headed into the bye, going into Green Bay.
Oh my gosh, man.
I can't find it, dog.
That's right. I said we was going to be 0-2.
I forgot who shared that link, man. Boy, that
I'm trying to
fit. That
find
But
fit
I
it,
me.
also
because
said we
it's
go on a
so
win streak.
perfect.
I said we end up 12-5 because we go on a win streak. We win like 6 or 7 games in a row like the Cowboys always do. But I still ain't drinking that Kool-Aid till we get in them playoffs, and they better win them games.
If
It's
we,
on my channel.
hey, dog, if we get all the way to the playoff like that and you being negative like that, I'm like, boy, you better not root for this team. You better
Nah,
not
I'm
root
gonna
for
be with him, bro.
I'm going to be allowed to root.
I'm
No,
gonna
definitely
be with him.
allowed to
we
root.
want you to
I've been in
be
this over
negative.
40-some years. I'm definitely allowed to be able to root.
See, this is the deal, though. I feel big
I
because
feel him, man.
it's one of those things to where I think we do got to make the Dallas Cowboys earn our loyalty, and that's
Yeah.
what he doing.
That's
it's
what he
like
doing.
we be giving them loyalty, and then it's almost like it's taken for granted. I feel him on that, man. Where, it's like I'm going to enjoy the season because I already see we set up to probably have a 12-5 season again. I'm gonna enjoy that, but at the same time, it's not about making a playoff. See, Philly think like that. That's Philly standards. We're good at making the playoffs. Look how many times we make the playoffs. That's low standards. I call that little meat energy. You know what I'm saying? Nah. You happy to hit. You just happy to hit. You know what I'm saying? Well, did you rock that thing? Did you leave her stuttering? You understand? Or was you just happy you
You wow. Wow, bro.
but am I keeping it real though, Big? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
so real and so true. It's so
yeah,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Did you leave your mark? You know what I mean?
True, sir.
Or was you?
Yeah.
So like all that little meat energy, that's Philly stuff. We made the playoffs, man. That's nah, bro. That's not our standard, dog. So from that, I'm with you, Big. I'm all the way with you. I still can't find it. I'm doing all this stalling. I ain't found nothing.
I was
determined though, dog.
We've been stalled. I'm
Oh
like,
my God,
okay,
you gotta
that's
go to your
7
mentions,
minutes.
man. Go to your
It's been
mentions
7
and then
minutes.
keep strolling
My
all the way down.
mentions.
Go to your mentions on Twitter and
to
keep
your
strolling all the way down.
go to your
It should be
mentions.
somewhere there. Yeah, buddy. If you go to your mentions.
All right, listen.
Oh yeah, I found it. I found it.
You found it?
Shoot it to
AMP.
me. Shoot it
I'm
to-
gonna see if I can send it to you, man.
You'll send it to me.
AMP,
dog, 'cause this is-
That was funny.
Oh, I found it too. This is it.
Big AJ, dog.
I got it.
Dog.
Thank you, Law. Thank you, Law. Because this is true, dog. This is
Dude,
This,
he captured it perfectly.
This-
Let me give a
I'm a-
shout out
I'm a-
to him.
hold up. This got 8 point. I hope this don't get this will get our channel in trouble.
Perfect.
Long you don't play no music, man.
Is this booty shaking? It ain't nothing but booty shaking.
All right, so Big, I'm gonna put this picture. I'm gonna put this picture side by side your face and see if it matches. All right, here we go. No. That's too much. I ain't gonna do that. No, it's too much. Yeah. Too much. All right, here we go.
Much.
This was worth the wait, y'all. Here we go. So somebody said, Boss Cowboy Law Nation and the OC. This is how Yates be when y'all talking about that optimism for the season. It's facts. Facts. We back there having a good time, enjoying all that good twerking.
Look at all that twerking.
And look, Big A James. He ain't feeling none of that. Got all that good twerking.
They twerking it.
He got all that.
They got 15
Big ain't feeling it. That's Big face. Oh man, that's so fast, dog.
God, Big A James, baby.
When he tagged me in that, I said, perfect.
Bro, that's dog. That dog face. Let me make it bigger, dog. All that good booty in the background. All that good fun we try to have. And this my boy.
James.
This my boy Big Game James right there, that dog. He just ain't feeling it. He just ain't feeling it. All that good booty in the background, dog. And that's Big Game. We try to have a good time talking about the season.
Talking about Cowboys, talking about season. Sam Williams, Michael Parsons.
CeeDee
Lamb.
Ooh, Dak and Shea.
Whatever.
Ooh, look at this. Ooh, look.
Man,
see, that's that good booty. That's Big Game James' face right there. He just ain't feeling it. Oh man, the final word. Only the final word, y'all. Only the final word, dog. This is what you can do when you independent, bro. All right, man. Final words. Me first.
Oh man.
Me first, man. I guess this is not the right one to send to Michael Gelkin. So some shows you say, "Hey, Mike, check out the show. Tell me what you think."
Just don't edit that part.
I come out to cut that part out. Hey, but this is my final word, big dog. This is my final word, man. It's go time, baby. Shit. Training camp start next week. So everybody that's been sleepy, everybody that's been taking your vacations, wake up. It's time. Let's get it. And we also got a super show. I'm not going to announce it quite yet, but there's a potential super show setting up. And when I say super show, I'm talking about super duper show. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got to make sure everybody's schedules truly align. But there's some quarterbacking going on to where you might see a lot of us come together like never happened before. Yeah. So y'all keep a lookout for that. For the final word is kind of starting to set itself in stone, but until you get to that day, you never know. But y'all keep them notifications up and them subs, do it. Because trust me, and I'm going to just tell you, especially Sunday, because there might be something that's going to be memorable to kick off training camp. And that's my final word, because I would be excited to see the Voltron like what's being discussed between some of these people in this space. You know, it's going to be some of the best. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. That's my final word.
Yeah, man, just bouncing off that, just get really excited about that. I think that'll be some legendary type stuff, if that goes down. So, keep on keeping that in the air. And just once again, just continue to support the final word. Like you were talking about earlier in the show when Michael Gelkin came on, boss, how you appreciate, how you appreciate missing us. And I really want to bounce off that. I really, we took 3 weeks off. We all did our own things, but I really appreciate the final word. And what it brings and what it means to the Cowboys community and myself. I really like how we have the different voices We can always be ourselves. We can be, we can go at each other, but have a great time with it. And I just really love how it was built, and I really appreciate how you brought the fire with Michael Gilkin, open it up, boss. I just really appreciate you being the quarterback of this. My dog Law Nation being the voice, the rhyme and reason. And, I just like to try to grind with y'all, and I really just appreciate what y'all have done with this final word. And let's keep it making growing. That's my final word.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate both of you guys, man. It's been a long journey without you all, and here you go.
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
And that is what we got right now going on with this team, the unknown. And hopefully this team can find ways to bond together. Dak Prescott going out to Miami land to say, hey, it was 60% bonding and 40%, I believe, working out. So the unity for each other means a lot for this team, and I can't wait to see it manifest itself, and I can't wait to get out there to Oxnard. For those who are coming out to Oxnard, let me know, and we're going to meet up. We're going to talk Cowboys, and we're going to leave it all out there, and we're going to try to share as much information, but keep in mind, this is where those guys earn their star on the side of the helmet. And the sweat equity, what they put out there on the field, will remain for the entire season. So hopefully these guys feel like or know that this will be the full opportunity in order to have big